Okay, not too bad of a Switch section here. We got Dragon's Dogma, Dead Cells, and what the heck? I'm in this game store right now because for the last 14 months, I've been building this. Because, you know, physical intimacy is overrated. But even after over a year, I still have 34 games left on my Switch list. So here I am in Game Exchange trying to find some of them, but the sad thing is I can't buy any of these bad boys until I build up a budget of flippable items. I found this Everybody's Golf VR and thought it had some potential because it was sealed, but it turns out we would only get a couple bucks profit from it. But then in the GBA section, I spotted this Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga for just 25, and that's one that we sell all the time on Amazon. I know we'll be able to make 12 bucks on it, so we'll add that to the budget. And check this out, on Amazon, we'll be able to get 38 after fees for Tetris DX. They've got it for just 25. That brings our total profit up to $25, and I got excited when I saw this in the handheld section. This is a 101 model of the Game Boy SP, but it's a little bit too expensive to actually be profitable. Now, the good news is they do have a decent Switch section at this Game Exchange, but the bad news is I don't think they have a single title. This is kind of cool, Sheepo, limited run, never heard of that. I don't think they have a single title that's still on my list, and those are really the only games that I'm looking for at this point. So I guess we're just gonna have to take our $35 profit right across the street over there to Half Price Books. But Caleb, you say, how could this be? You just said you had $25 profit. Well, you know what? It looks like you actually have something behind your ear there. What could that? Oh, what did I spy on my way out? But a little Pokemon Stadium. And these rapturous little boys bring a clean $35 on Amazon. We only paid $25. Now, folks, I do need to level with you. Not only is our Switch list now smaller than it ever has been at 34 games, but this is also an unideal season to be hunting for profitable flips because we are now in post-Christmas winter, meaning that prices online are coming down, but prices in store are likely to still be somewhat high, so we've definitely got our work cut out for us today. Now folks, walking into the video game section here, I spotted one thing very quickly when I walked in, right over on the PS2 section. All right, do you guys see it? I'll give you a little bit to look. It caught my eye very quickly, I will say that. It was this guy right here, Manhunt, which is a solid mid-dollar game. Not in the best case here, but at $9, that's a really good deal. You can see that after fees, we'll be looking at a very healthy $19 or honestly $20, which is great. The only downside is, one, it's in this old rental case. Also, when I popped it open, the disc definitely could use a little bit of work. But folks, part of the benefit of being a video game reseller is we have plenty of cases and we can resurface that bad boy. So desperate times do call for desperate measures. It's a good amount of work for that $10, but we gotta do what we have to do. One of my favorite sections in Half Price Books is always these wooden cases here. Not only do they look good, they tend to have some solid stuff. Forza, that's a little expensive. Brawl, that's really expensive. Wow, $25 for that bad boy. That's like a $15 game. Overkill is living up to the name. That price is overkill. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, folks, with retail prices right after Christmas. You're not likely to see a ton of crazy deals. But you know what, folks, just as I was saying something, open in my mouth, look at this. Mario Bros, New Super Mario Bros. Wii for $15. We pay $22 for that one to our buy list partners, and I know all day we'll sell that for $30 after fees, so that's a really solid double up there. It just doesn't make sense to me why they would have that for like a solid deal relative to market value, and then have Mario Galaxy for $25, which is honestly like a $15 game. But hey folks, I'm not gonna complain. Those price inconsistencies are where we resellers make our money. Now this is one right here that kind of let me down. South Park Stick of Truth. For some reason, this game on PS4 right now is going for like 60 bucks. This one was only 8, so I thought maybe this one had like risen in price too, but looked it up and looks like it's going for $3 after fees. And unfortunately, his PS4 brother is nowhere to be found in that case. And also, they've got these PS3 Move controllers. Normally we buy these a ton and we get people selling them to us a bunch. It's kind of hard to see, but those two things are $60 just like with a PS3 Move camera, and they've been here for months. This DS Lite is tempting, but I try really hard to to avoid units with these like large decals on them because sometimes they can be a pain to take off. Even though at 50 bucks we would be able to make some money there, I'm gonna leave this one because ultimately it's just too much work. But folks, I gotta say the real tragedy of this whole video game section right here is I do not see a single Switch game on any of these shelves. Well, actually, I take it back. There is one Switch game, Ring Fit Adventure right down here. Sitting pretty for 40 bucks. Not a terrible price, but not one that we're looking for. But this up here is actually a really solid find. Unfortunately, it's not going for the Goodwill price of $4.99, but We Play Motion at $15 even. It's still a little bit spiked in price after the holidays, and you can see we'll get $32 after fees for it. So this is actually a really good find. And that brings our budget up to an honestly really well, oh, dang it. This might be why they underpriced it. You can see there's actually a good bit of top scratching on that disc. That sucks. I think I'm gonna have to leave this one. But I think after taking this one out, that leaves us at like 60. So not as good, but still decent. We have nothing to spend it on in here. One prediction that I have seen a few resellers making for 2024 and beyond is that DVD prices might make a little bit of a resurgence with the increase in streaming service prices. It's speculated that people are getting kind of fed up with just paying so much for all of the streaming services and might make a little bit of a return to physical media. I haven't seen that yet. I'm not necessarily skeptical of it, but I don't know. I'd love to see it because, you know, I can sell those on Amazon too and they get decent prices. Now, folks, is 2 games in a single stop all that impressive? No. Am I as a person all that impressive? No. Are we struggling to find a single Switch game at any of our stops today? Yes. I think it may be time for some shameful, self-pitying binge eating. And I think I know just the place.
Chipotle's alive!
Now folks, some of you guys may remember, I used to be a bit of a Chipotle stan. I would beg them in every single video, oh, please sponsor me, oh, I'm giving you free advertising, blah, blah, blah. But guess what, folks? I'm tired of it. And you know what? I'm honestly done sucking up to them. Did I happen to go there today because it happened to be in the neighborhood? Yes. But honestly, this doesn't look that good. Probably doesn't taste that good. And I'm tired. Oh. Ugh, trying to find something to watch over lunch, and YouTube is just going downhill these days, man. There's just not a single decent thing to watch on here.
I feel ya. This guy I used to watch started uploading business videos.
All right, so folks, just got out of GameStop here. Oftentimes the managers aren't the coolest with filming, so didn't get any footage, but I picked up a game that may surprise some of you guys, and not only that, but I'm about to go a little bit rogue, because not only did I bring my entire list from the basement with me today, but also being over a year into this challenge, I'm gonna tweak the rules a little bit. See, the game that I picked up was Nier Automata. It was 28 bucks, which leaves us with 32 in the budget. And this game is not even on my list. Now, that's nothing crazy. In the history of this challenge, I've picked up tons of games that aren't on the list. But where it gets crazy is I'm actually going to cross off Worms WMD. Now I know. I can see Hater Hank warming up his Dorito digits already. This Phoenix Resale hasn't posted an actual game hunting video in months, and now when he does, it's just to change the rules of his own challenge, cheapen the whole thing, and I knew that he was a quitter all along. And here's the thing, Hank, you're kind of half right. Huh? It's been a couple months now since I posted my last Mission Switch video on this channel. I think this series started back in November of 2022. And since then, I've learned a couple important things. A, 100 games is way too much for a collecting series, and I am never doing that again. 2, a lot of games that are left on this board, I either didn't have that much interest in the first place, or I've lost interest in them in the last year or so. And D, I've actually caught myself thinking recently, oh, Nier Automata or Automata. I've had a few people recommend this game to me. It looks really cool with like the graphics and the art style and the like philosophical storyline. I'd really like to play that, but oh, dang, it's not on the Mission Switch list, and I've really got to focus on knocking this out, so I guess I just can't get this for now. And I've just realized recently, what a stupid way to live my life. And if I'm being really honest with you guys, feeling like I'm limited to only the games remaining on this list until I finish this challenge has been a part of the reason I haven't made many Mission Switch videos recently. So I decided what I'm doing from here on out is anytime I find a game in the wild, like Mario Wonder, for example, which I still haven't gotten, that I want more than a game that's on this list, I'm just gonna check off whatever game I want least. By the way, right now I'm heading in to see my friends at Top Dollar Pawn and see if we can build this budget a little bit further. I know for some of you guys, this will feel like a death to the Mission Switch series challenge, but honestly, I gotta say for me, it's feeling a lot more like a rebirth. Now folks, I came here to Top Dollar Pawn to try to build up our Switch budget because I know the guys here and they have yet to let me down. Not really seeing anything of note so far in the low dollar section, but let's go check the glass cases. Looks like they have a pretty solid little controller selection here, and oh, look at that right down there. Wii Sports for 20 bucks. I bet they would give that to me for 15. We get 25 for it after fees on Amazon, so that could be a solid mini profit there. And then also, would you look at that? A backlit modded reshelled Game Boy Color. I do not see that very often at pawn shops. That's kind of cool. Ooh. Episode 4 original VHS, that's cool too. And then this caught my eye, believe it or not, this little Casio. I'm gonna look up that model number on Amazon because calculators can often do pretty decent on Amazon. Definitely better than you would normally get in a pawn shop. Okay, it looks like it is going for a little bit more. Good sales rank, but 46, that's a little bit too close. If they went 30 on that, then I think I'd go ahead and pull the trigger. And they also happen to have way more Switch games than they did at Half Price Books. I think we have all of those at this point. I'll double check it though. But the one that was interesting to me was Bayonetta 3. That's another one that I did have on the Switch list. I think I had Bayonetta 2 because maybe it had the highest Metacritic score or something. In reality, I just kind of want to dip my toes into the franchise. So at 20 bucks, that might be a great opportunity. So I had a couple price questions for you. The Wii Sports over here, you had 20 on. Would you do 15?
Yeah.
Okay. The Casio I was kind of close on. I could do 30 if that's interesting.
That'll work.
All right. If I took the Mario Kart and the Sluggers, would you do 20 a piece?
Yeah.
Sweet. Then the last one was the Bayonetta 3 over here. Was curious if you had any room on that. This little
15.
That'd be great.
All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. What are the odds of seeing Riff's mom all the way out here? One of the dumbest jokes I've made on this channel.
I think one of the dumbest jokes ever in your channel was saying you're a GameCube collector.
Folks, Top Dollar Pawn, I'm telling you, it's where the magic is. We went from $32 in the Switch budget to $42. Then $52, and then $62, then $78 in expected profit in total, part of which quickly got spent and brought us back down to, what, $63 in the budget after we bought Bayonetta 3 on the Switch, which I'm also excited to at least test out. I'm not sure if it's really for me, but happy to get this one off the list. And you can suck a lemon, Hank. I've been getting really into the mouth humor recently. What is up with that? All right, folks, next stop is, where is it? First Cash Pawn. They did a little bit of a rebrand recently. Haven't been in here in a while, so I'm curious to see, at least in an age long gone, they used to have a really solid Switch section, so we'll see if that's still the case. The prices on the PS4 games. Was pretty much looking at just the Dead or Alive 6. 15 is what's normal. 5 to 10. 10. Okay, yeah, I'd do 10 for it. Appreciate that. All right, so folks, I didn't know the owner at that store, so I had to go a little bit incognito mode, but here's the play-by-play of what just happened. Immediately got in and saw that there was no Switch games on the shelf, unfortunately, but I did spy this little bad boy right here, this Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. They had it for $39, which is a decent deal, but I saw it's in really great shape on the inside, so I say, how about 30, guy? And he says, I'll do 35. So I was like, okay. And these guys can bring about 47, as you can see there on Amazon, so a tidy little $11+ profit on that. But then he also tells me that they have $10 PS4 games if you buy more than one. And I spied a couple semi-uncommon gems here, Dead or Alive 6, and also Killing Floor 2. Now this one I knew that I could get 21 plus for after fees on Amazon, so this one was a lock. This one I didn't really have time to look up. So I had to do it on the fly just now, and this is what I found, which I think is decent because you can see 15 bucks after fees. The only thing is the picture on it, and this is just one of those lovely pleasures of selling on Amazon. The picture is actually for the European PEGI version. I'm fairly sure that it's still the right listing. Sometimes that just happens on Amazon, but it's one of those annoying things. It wasn't coming up when I scanned the actual barcode, and I'll just have to do some research when we get home. But that does leave us with a really solid $90 total Switch budget going into our last stop of the day, Game Exchange. And oh yeah, folks, this one definitely has a more solid. Look at the difference between this Switch section and the last one, the last Game Exchange we went to. This is really nice. Look at all the complete titles up here. But before we get too deep into that, I definitely want to take a quick peek around and see if there's any flippable stuff to maybe budge that budget up a little more. Ooh, and folks, right off the bat, here's a solid one right here, Budokai 3. At 30, I don't know. I know we've been buying a ton of these from our buy list partners. I think our buy price might be like 28, but that should still be a solid $10 profit, so we're gonna pick this up. And dang, bro, check this one out. 33 bucks for Guitar Hero Metallica PS2. Look at this, going for 60 after fees on Amazon. That's incredible. That puts us at $127 in the Switch budget, folks, and we're not even done yet. Now, folks, I do have to level with you a little bit. It's very possible that from here on out, Mission Switch episodes will be a little bit fewer and further between, not just for the reasons that I mentioned before, but also because the business model of Phoenix Resale has just kind of fundamentally shifted. In fact, when this series started, there was no buy list partner program. There was no app being developed to eventually take its place. There was just pretty much me going to pawn shops and conventions and video game stores, finding this kind of stuff. Like, this is basically what I did all the time anyway. So making these kinds of videos was just a lot more natural and easy. And don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled that now we're doing the majority of our business with viewers of this channel and with people that I've met at conventions and other game store owners and things like that. But the hard thing about that is, like, just opening up boxes in my basement filled with the same video games over and over doesn't make for the best content. So anyways, I've just kind of had to ask myself, like, what does this channel look like with the current shape of the resale business? Like, given that I'm spending less time in game stores and pawn shops and more time just cleaning games in my basement, what kinds of videos can I be making that sort of provide unique value and don't feel like samey all the time? And that don't drop my camera on the dirty game store floor. By the way, they also have a pretty decent NES selection too. They've got Mario Bros 3. I think we're paying 15 for these, so I think I'll leave those. But they're both in really solid shape. Bunch of miscellaneous stuff here, and then I did find, look how clean this Mario Bros 2 is. This thing's also 20, which I think is around what we pay. And they actually have this one. Is this one clean? Okay, so those should be about $10 profit a piece as well. This will bring our total Switch budget up to $147, which I think is more than enough. And anyways, that channel thought process was kind of what sparked my idea to start going to interview other like high-level resellers to try to bring as much value to kind of my core audience on this channel, which is other like fellow resellers, especially in the collectible space. And that directional shift has definitely had mixed reception. I knew that the people who are subscribed mostly like for game hunting content would be a lot less interested in it, but ultimately I decided to still go that way because it's just something that's fascinating me right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can't expect to see a little bit more of that on the channel, at least every now and again. But folks, back to the important task at hand, figuring out which of these glorious Switch games to actually add to the collection. And I have to say, one of them already caught my eye, and that is one down here, Super Mario 3D World with Bowser's Fury. This is a game that I already have played from my previous Switch collection before I had to sell it to, renovate the basement. And I've been really looking forward to getting it back into the collection because it's just really good. I had a ton of fun with Bowser's Fury, was like really surprised how much playtime was in that. I was expecting it to be just kind of like a mini game or random add-on, but even at 50 bucks, I feel like this is still like not a bad value. And as a bonus, this one's actually still on the list. That brings us to 97 bucks left in the budget, and I actually just saw something really interesting. Look at this. Bayonetta Origins. I've never heard of this game before. Did we kind of miss out in our entry to the franchise? I don't know. But oh my gosh, look at this, folks. Another one of those iconic multiplayer Switch games that I've had on my list forever. It's actually the top one geographically that I still need on it. I don't expect it's one I'll put a ton of time into. I played it a little bit at friends' houses. It's one that I want to have available for those game nights. And folks, because ARMS was 35 bucks, we've now got $62 remaining in the Switch fund, and it's really anyone's guess where we go from here. Ooh, is this one that we have yet? Game Builder Garage is one that has intrigued me before. I know almost nothing about it except the name. Let's see on my digital list here. No, it looks like we don't have this one, but I'm interested. I don't know. Ooh, they've got Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. This one we have already, but we don't have Cadence of Hyrule. That's what I'm still looking for. I don't know, of these front-facing games, none of them is really catching my eye like crazy. Not seeing it. Honestly, I think it's going to be some... Ooh, Luigi's Mansion, we have that one already. Breath of the Wild we have. Tears of the Kingdom we have. At one point we had a Kirby game on there as well, but I'm pretty sure we've gotten that. Oh, folks, just when I thought I was going to call it a day, I've spotted it. I know what the last game we're coming home today is. As I got back home and was putting my new games back on the shelf, I was reflecting a little bit on how strange it is, the lengths that I went to over the course of this video to explain the shift in strategy and channel direction and everything. And I think what it comes down to is it's really easy to say, like, don't care about what anyone else thinks and screw the haters and just do your own thing, march to the beat of your own drum. But the reality is I do care what you guys think. I mean, I make these videos for people to watch and enjoy. I hope that you can experience a, collector's high when we find a rare item, or a nostalgia hit when, I find something that we've both enjoyed before. And I think it's healthy to acknowledge that, I make this stuff because I want people to like it. But whether or not you're a huge fan of the kinds of videos I've been making recently, I just think it's really cool that you guys get to be around for not just the growth of the collection, but also the growth of the channel and my identity on this platform in a way. I don't know, I guess just the longer I thought about it today, the more grateful I ended up feeling just to be able to share all of this with you guys. Folks, if you haven't gotten enough Mission Switch yet, you can catch one of my favorite episodes of all time right down here, and I'll catch you guys on the flip.